The City of Waterloo, in cooperation with its many active and inspiring entities, presents Heart for the City, a chance to hear and see what's going on in our city and to meet people who serve you, teach you, entertain you, help you, all neighbors and like you. Make this a city on the move. And now, here's our host, the Honorable Quentin Hart.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us on Heart for the City. I'm Quentin Hart, proud mayor of Waterloo. And once again, a great show coming your way. Heraclitus, or Cletus, or Heraclitus, a Greek philosopher, has been quoted as saying, "Change is the only constant in life." And this is especially obvious when you travel around this city. Everywhere there is growth, improvement, and activity, all the result of change. And what is changing? Virtually everything, and we will highlight a few of the positive changes taking place in the city today. But more to come as we look at the trend-setting organizations after this.
Getting healthy has never been easier with a membership at Cedar Valley Sportsplex. Offering 80 free classes a week at all skill levels, there's always new and fun opportunities to grow. You never have to miss out on your favorites with our state-of-the-art facilities, featuring great exercise equipment, a track and field, pool, and 2 regulation gyms. So whether your game is football or pickleball, let the Cedar Valley Sportsplex turn your routine into something amazing.
Welcome back to Heart for the City. The Greater Cedar Valley Alliance and Chamber has a fresh new name, logo, and appearance. What is this rebranding all about? And to tell us more about this rebranding is Cary Darrah, Grow Cedar Valley CEO. So welcome back to Heart for the City.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Well, I'm going to read this verbatim so I get it right. The name Grow Cedar Valley was unveiled at the organization's annual celebration at the Diamond Event Center in Cedar Falls in March of this year.
Correct.
Why the rebranding?
It was time. So we went through, in the transition of leadership with our organization, we went through several forms of research. And what came from that were several things, what to focus on, the kinds of things we needed to prioritize. But it also was very evident that we needed to rebrand and refresh. And so it was actually a really exciting experience to do that.
Right. And how many different voices and people? There are a lot of people that were involved in that conversation, right?
Right, yes. First we had focus groups, and then we had one-on-one interviews. We had a survey. We had internal interviews. It was well over 200 people whose voices we heard in this process.
And although we believe everyone in the communities and the service area know about Grow Cedar Valley, can you tell us a little bit about the elements and the components that are comprised or the activities
Sure.
part of the organization?
Sure. So we're the organization that combines community development, or the Chamber of Commerce function, and economic development. So Cedar Valley Economic Development Corporation was the first ED corporation in the Cedar Valley, and we've combined all of those entities, all those organizations, and so we embrace the community development and the economic development, and we've woven that together. And really, it should be, because you really don't have effective economic development if you don't have a community that's thriving so that their employees can come and stay when you're growing businesses. And we need that community piece so that we've got the solid community for businesses to locate and grow.
And that is when you really think about the combining of the cities that are part of this Grow Cedar Valley, I think it's tremendous, because a lot of people think, Waterloo, Cedar Falls, we're competing, and of course there's some natural things that we want to get, businesses and opportunities for our residents. But we're not just competing amongst one another, we're competing with the other corridors across the state for jobs and quality of life. So combining both of those, or all of them that's involved, makes us a much stronger corridor.
Absolutely. I will tell you that folks in Washington and folks in Des Moines recognize the Cedar Valley, and they recognize Waterloo and Cedar Falls, but the exponential benefit of being showcased together with, as you said, our strong surrounding communities has made a big difference.
Absolutely. And with this new rebranding comes a new mission, vision, and purpose statement. Can you talk about that, or how it differs from the previous one?
Sure. The previous one, I can't even tell you what it was, honestly. So,
there we
I mean,
go.
I've tried
Now
really
that's
hard to
rebranding.
be progressive on this. But our mission is to elevate the economic vitality of our communities and our businesses.
Okay.
And our tagline with our Grow Cedar Valley new logo is business, community, opportunity. Because
Okay.
we firmly believe when you work hard to heighten both of those, you're going to have tremendous opportunities.
So you said business, community, and
Opportunity.
business, community, and opportunity.
We combine supporting businesses and helping businesses grow. We combine that with the community side, and from that comes opportunities.
Just think you could have mixed up the letters. It could have been Cobb.
For Iowa, there are corn cobs.
Right.
We could have gotten away with that.
Goals for 2019, what are some of those?
Well, through our rebranding process, as I said, we identified some priorities. Talented workforce is a priority of everyone,
Right.
not only our organization, but every organization across the country. But we've got some very effective operations going on with that talent piece. Includes a lot of economic inclusion.
Right.
It includes working with our K-12 and our higher ed institutions. So talent development, recruitment and retention are key. Helping our current businesses, already established businesses grow is a priority.
Right.
And every community wants to attract new businesses. We're at a point where we know we have several businesses that could have help or obstacles removed
Right.
in order to help them grow. So our existing businesses are equally important.
And investors, you mentioned businesses, and well, you don't have to name them verbatim, but who would be investors, and what would be their benefits?
Sure. So typically, like the Chambers of Commerce, and when they were first established, it was the business community that were invested or paid dues, and that was how that organization thrived. So we have investors that represent our local businesses, our regional businesses. We also have investors that represent our nonprofit organizations, our church associations. We've got investors, anyone who wants to see our community, our region grow, are welcome to be part of our organization.
And, you know, I know we've been working together for, a year or two now, probably further back in different
Sure.
capacities. But I want to thank you for working to lead some of the conversations about economic inclusion locally. The city of Waterloo and this county is one of the most diverse in the entire state. And so working with employers to understand the greater benefits of diversity, inclusion, and opportunities for small businesses as well and entrepreneurs. So I want to thank you for stepping up to the plate and not just talking about it, but being about it as well.
We see that diversity and know, as you said, that Blackhawk County has one of the most diverse populations, and we celebrate that. We think that's a beautiful thing to really get out and market to other communities and other areas about what we have.
And a couple of phrase words we hear is skilled workforce.
Right.
Can you tell us about any type of attraction and what you're doing for the workforce as well?
Sure. Well, first of all, listening.
That's a big question.
It is, well, but it's very pertinent. And for listening to our stakeholders, understanding what types of skills they're looking for in employees, and then working with our higher ed. Hawkeye Community College does an absolutely wonderful job providing the kinds of training and kinds of skills opportunities to reach the employees that want to serve our employers. So we work with K-12 institutions, the CAPS program, the CTE, the Waterloo schools are doing amazing things. And being able to translate or transfer information we're hearing from our businesses to folks that are dealing with our future workforce, which includes Leader and me, by the way.
Right, and I forgot to ask too, when we talked about the investors or those that are involved, are nonprofits also included in
Absolutely,
within this? Okay.
absolutely. We have a nonprofit rate that we just established. I mean, we've had nonprofits for a long time, but we established a nonprofit rate when I took one a couple months ago.
And we have probably 1 minute left to answer two quick questions.
Okay.
One, why do people have purple coats that hang out with you a little bit?
Well, those are our ambassadors.
Right.
And so when we combined the Waterloo and Cedar Falls Chambers of Commerce and then brought them under our umbrella, they blended their red coats and their green coats. They came up with purple coats, which is ironically a really good color in the Cedar Valley, given we have panthers. Our
Right.
purple.
It's my fraternity colors too. So
well, there you
great,
go.
great. But doesn't that make magenta?
If they combined those colors, it probably wouldn't have been
Right.
purple, but it's a really good support color for everything everything else going on in Cedar Valley.
And it also represents royalty. So in the last 30 seconds, why is the Cedar Valley one of the best places to run a business, raise a family, and live a fun and enriching life?
I go back to the diversity piece. I mean, I really do believe, and I know I'm not alone in that have the diversity, not only ethnic diversity, but we've got diversity in our kinds of businesses that we celebrate. We've got diversity in the kinds of communities, we've got Cedar Falls that has a university, Waterloo has the government center. So I believe between that and the cultural piece with the quality of life and the events, you and I know we just had guests from both coasts in the last couple of days, and they were absolutely blown away with how welcoming our community was.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Cary, for
Thank you.
taking time to enlighten us about the new focus Grow Cedar Valley is applying to this area. And after years of major accomplishments, there is a dedication to the next step that I would like to call Refocus Evolution. And I'm always excited about our area's future and know that Grow Cedar Valley will be a major part of that. So please come back, as I know there will be so much that we can brag about our future.
Thank you.
Not only is Cary known to be a stellar, well-trusted economic development professional, but she's a bridge building collaborator. She is heralded by many as the perfect person to lead the talented professional staff at Grow Cedar Valley and execute their new strategic plan. We are all aware and thankful for the strong role Grow Cedar Valley will play in the focus for economic development and all the programs that support the mission. More good news, there is something else relatively new for the benefit of the community. So stay with us, more to come on Heart for the City.
Welcome to the Waterloo Regional Airport. Waterloo Regional Airport is served by American Airlines with daily flights to Chicago O'Hare and connections anywhere in the world. Our airport offers convenient and easy access, fast security lines, $6 daily parking, and comfortable passenger waiting areas. Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, fly ALO. Visit us online to book a flight or to check our flight schedule. Fly with us today.
Welcome back. The Waterloo Community Foundation is dedicated to providing a lean, straightforward, and transparent conduit to those who wish to contribute resources for the betterment of Waterloo and its citizens. To tell us more about this mission is the board president, Geof, and its executive director, Michelle Temeyer. So welcome.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Mayor.
It's your first time on the show?
Mine.
We've been on the show, I think, earlier
Okay.
when we first started, maybe.
All right. Well, there's a lot that's taken place, but I think if you could tell us exactly what is the Waterloo Community Foundation?
Waterloo Community Foundation is dedicated to the enhancement of Waterloo and its citizens. It's a new corporation or a new foundation. We're only about 4 years old, but our focus is entirely on the city of Waterloo and its people.
Okay. And so that's the overall mission is.
Exactly.
That's pretty cut and clear.
Yep, no question about it.
So can you tell me again, when was it started?
2015 we started.
Okay.
We thought there was a need for a foundation in this area. There are lots of foundations around, but none of them really focused directly on Waterloo and exclusively on Waterloo, and we thought that was important to have.
And the founders have stated to help build the legacy of the Waterloo Civic Foundation, which was formed in 1956. Can you kind of elaborate on that legacy?
Well, the Civic Foundations started off, and eventually it became the Northeast Iowa Foundation, which still exists. It's still kind of part of that, but that foundation focuses on pretty much all of Northeast Iowa. So we were concerned that there needed to be a foundation that was really specifically just for Waterloo and its people.
Right, and so that's one of the features, but what are some other features of the foundation?
Well, certainly the things that Geof talked about is an opportunity for us to get involved, and we do that in a number of ways. We talk with donors in our community that really have a passion about Waterloo, because that's where our interests are, and matching up those passions of what people want to do philanthropically with those dollars. Our board of directors then taking grant applications to be able to put that money to good use in our community.
Right. And so you award. Is there a process, or how do you decide to give out awards? Is there an application process, or how does that work?
We have a grants committee. The applications come to that committee. They review those applications, and they make the final decisions about the award before the board has final approval. But trying to get broad cross-section of the community and the awards that we've done, I think we've done a pretty good job of that. But the needs obviously are great.
Right.
Our amount of money at present is not that great, so we have to be kind of selective about it. But we'd love to be able to give out more money if we had more money to give.
Right, right. To everyone that asked had something viable, and it's really tough too, because I've served on other granting committees, and you have some of the most heartwarming programs or some of the most innovative opportunities, and it's like, how do you take that silo of programs and then you break it down into choosing? So processes are very important. But you've also given some awards, some of those same things that I talked about, being innovative or good programs. What are some of the awards that have been given out already?
Well, certainly, we've done 3 years worth of granting, and each of those years we've had $20,000 to be able to put back out into the community. We've funded things such as the Silos and Smokestacks display at the Waterloo Airport there in the lobby, so when folks visit our community, they see the great things that are happening
Right.
through a
Wow,
beautiful
okay.
photo exhibit.
Okay.
Was funded through the Waterloo Community Foundation. We also have helped the youth art team in our second year.
Yes.
Certainly the river wall that they just completed is a continuation of the good work that they started, through that. We have also helped the Walnut neighborhood, and that's just the area right near downtown here.
Yeah.
And certainly that's, a lot of community partners are working on that, and our small grant is continuing that kind of help to support neighborhoods. So through our granting process, we have 4 areas, but certainly know that there's many more needs than what there are dollars.
Now, the executive producer for this program, Heart for the City, talks about me and the way I pronounce certain things. So I'm going to try to pronounce this. But can you tell us what is the Almer Scholarship?
Yes, the Almer.
Almer. That's
Yes.
what I said. No.
It's a last name of an individual.
Okay.
Actually, it was named after Dave Almer,
Okay,
who was a
okay.
great hockey fan. And so the Almer Scholarship is awarded to Waterloo Waterloo Warriors that are going on to college, and that is a scholarship program that continues on and is renewable. So it's a great program that has respected the individual that it was named after, and also does great things for those hockey players going on to college.
Oh, wow, incredible. And then from the Almer Scholarship, what about the Quest?
Yes, the Quest Scholarship is also offered by a family that came forward and said we would like to be able to award a scholarship annually to a student pursuing a degree, higher education, in the area of a STEM field or education, either at East, West, or Expo. So again, that's a competitive process and has been awarded. Now we just completed the second year.
And board and staff, can you tell us about that a little bit? How many are on there?
We have a board of 15.
Wow, that's a big board.
The only staff we have right now is Michelle. I'm hoping to add some more in the future, but one of our founding principles is that we want to be a fairly lean organization, not have a lot of personnel. So we're relying on the people of the community to investigate and get back to us, and we'd like to have people establish other scholarships, other funds that they could control, or just funds that would go to the general usage of Waterloo that the board over the next 50, 100 years would decide are the most important things to be done.
And you know, it's interesting because the leanest portion of the meat costs the most. So I guess that works differently from a business acumen. But are people available for donations outside of Waterloo?
Absolutely. Donations can be received by our organization from anyone, and not just cash. Certainly we're in a position to be able to absorb stock, any kind of stock transfer, anything. So we are in a position to be able to do that. So there are multiple ways to give and multiple ways for people to establish their own opportunities. We've talked about a lot of just general giving that we've done, but also there's a lot of things that individuals can do to help, impact the things that they care about in the community.
Right. And so this foundation is it's about Waterloo, and it focuses on trying to help fill a gap, fill a need in our local community. So I may be someone that has some property, and am I able to leave it through my estate? Is that another opportunity, or leave some money to you as well?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Any capital asset that we would convert it to cash and then invest it over time. But yes, that would be great.
And so no investment is too small or too large for the foundation, right?
Absolutely not.
All right. And if I wanted to give to the foundation, how would I do that?
It's very easy. I think we'll have some information here shortly on the screen,
Okay.
but certainly we can be contacted directly. The Waterloo Community Foundation phone number, email will be there. We're always willing to talk to civic groups, small groups, individuals. In my short time with the foundation, I have found that a lot of people really do care about this community. And so we will help accommodate their wishes and direct the money that they want, where they want it to direct it. And also so it has the biggest impact for our community, because bottom line, that's where we're at.
Well, they have the best executive director they can possibly have, from your earlier planning days to your working with the community in a previous role, and now working with giving. So we're very glad that you're in leadership and in moving forward. And Geof, we're glad that you are moving the board forward as well. But I want to thank you both, Geof and Michelle, for taking time to explain the Waterloo Community Foundation's mission and goals. And viewers can find out more by visiting your website at www.WLOOcommunityfoundation.org for all the details. The Waterloo Community Foundation made an inaugural award from the Greg Freshwater Scholarship to Waterloo firefighters, 3 of them, and all are attending paramedic school at Hawkeye Community College. Trained paramedic personnel are in short supply, and these individuals would enhance emergency medical services provided by the city. The scholarship fund was established in 2017 to honor the life and legacy of Waterloo firefighter Greg Freshwater, who was fatally injured in an unfortunate accident. The scholarship is available to Waterloo firefighters seeking paramedic or EMT training at area accredited post-secondary institutions. Moving on, there are 18 FM radio stations and 8 AM radio stations broadcasting in the immediate Waterloo area. But one station stands out in a very special way. Stay with us and you will learn how.
When I ride my bike, I am always very careful and stay safe at all times. I always wear a properly fitted helmet. I check the safety lights in the front and back of my bike, and no matter where I ride, I keep an eye out for cars, even when riding on the sidewalk. This message is brought to you by Drive Safe Cedar Valley.
Welcome back to Heart for the City. Our next guest, Deborah Berry, was named President and Executive Director of radio station KBBG in June of 2017. Deborah holds a master's degree in communications and served 14 years in the legislature and 2 years on the Waterloo City Council. She was a unanimous choice of KBBG's Board of Directors to lead the African American radio station, following the death of her predecessor, Dr. Sharon Clayton. In 2014, Deborah was inducted into the Iowa African American Hall of Fame, and in 2017 received the History Maker Award from the African American Museum of Iowa in Cedar Rapids. No stranger to the community and heart for the city. Welcome back, Deborah.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
That resume, I mean, really, that was just a small snippet of all the accomplishments that you've been blessed to receive over the years in many different areas of service. But today, I want to know, how did you get your start in radio broadcasting? And tell us a little bit about just your history with KBBG.
Okay, well, again, thank you for this opportunity. When I lived in Chicago 11 years and moved back in the early 90s, and then I remembered feeling, oh my goodness, I'm trapped. How am I going to get in touch with the outside world? And KBBG was offering a free broadcasting program.
Oh, wow.
So I said, I'm going to take that 6-week class. So I took the class, and then I volunteered on air. I was a morning DJ. And after that, I went to Jimmy Porter after 6 months and said, hey, I want to learn more about the business. And he said, okay, go talk to Lou.
Oh,
And the
wow.
rest is history.
So you were a morning DJ, huh?
I was Deborah on the run.
Deborah on the run?
Yeah.
I won't even ask what music you played, but I know it was great.
Yeah, it was the 90s, so yeah.
Oh, good, good.
Yep.
A very long history, very accomplished in radio broadcasting.
Yep.
And, you know, we hear radio broadcasting, we hear for-profit radio, but what is community broadcasting, and how did Jimmy and Lou establish a need for it?
Well, you know, Mr. Porter was an activist, a community activist, and he actually headed the Community Enablers program back in the early, I guess, the 70s. And he, being an activist, and in the 70s is when a lot of radio stations were allowed to, you know, get licenses, a lot of minority-owned radio stations. And so that's where KBBG and maybe a lot of Hispanic radio stations and other Native American stations just kind of grew from the 70s. And him being an activist, he and many, many others worked together, got together and decided, hey, what can we do? And again, keep in mind that this comes off the tail end of the Civil Rights Movement.
Right.
And so they got together, Mr. Porter, Dr. Nash, and a few other people, B.J. Ferguson, and said, hey, let's do this. We need to have a voice. And I have to also acknowledge the United Methodist Church. They were a big part of it as well. And yeah, so they got together and said, let's get the license, let's do what we need to do. And in 1977, they established Afro-American Community Broadcasting. And then in July of 1978, KBBG launched its first broadcast over the airwaves.
Oh, wow.
And it was a 5-mile radius. So I remember people, and I was around then. Okay, yeah, I was. and I just remember people saying, oh my God, you can hear it. You can hear it over the air. And people were running, you know, all over the, you know, the neighborhood saying, yeah, I hear it. I hear it over the airwaves.
Right.
And so it was a very exciting time for the city.
Yes, it was. And I remember the electricity and how alive things were and how proud a lot of people were that we had a radio station that allows our voice to be. And matter of fact,
Exactly.
My first opportunity to be on radio actually came at KBBG, and like so many people in this community, it's just tremendous. And you knew Lou and Jimmy for a long time, and I know what they meant to you. Can you tell today how their legacy is still being realized today at KBBG?
Well, again, when the station was established, of course, we didn't have the technology that we have today. But again, Mr. Porter being a community activist and Lou being a development director, a go-getter, and a very strong community person who I always give credit to. I couldn't be who I am today had not having the experience of working with Lou Porter and also Mr. Porter even giving me that opportunity. But as I always say, Mr. Porter was ahead of his time even back then to even say, let's have a radio station. And he did something I feel was pretty brilliant. He prepared even that station to have the capacity or the ability to have sub-channels, HD channels.
Really?
And today, fast forwarding to today, we're infusing technology into the radio station. We have our own app now. We did a rebranding thing when I came on board in July, and just pretty much changed the image. You can even see on my KBBG the new logo as opposed to the old logo that you see behind me. So we made changes to our brand. We updated our website. We infuse again technology into pretty much everything we've been doing, which is something that was not before.
So you mentioned, today and with Mr. Porter and the overlap about vision and how you're incorporating and moving the station to the next spectrum. There's also another portion that I'm very proud that you're doing, which is also similar, and that is the investment in young people.
Oh, yeah.
Can you talk about some of the things you have going on in that capacity?
When I moved back to Waterloo, and I remember in 2000, I worked within the Waterloo School District, and I was the community Learning Center site coordinator for then Logan Middle School, which is now Carver. And so I took that concept of a community learning center coupled with the fact that we had a broadcast training course that trained me in radio and many, many others, and said, let's create a community learning center in broadcasting. And that is teaching young people about broadcasting. Not only radio broadcasting, but the work ethics that they need to hold a job and to train, to help with reading fluency. And again, that's our community learning center. And we're actually launching that this summer with the third through fifth grade students, and where they will, develop their reading fluency and things like that, because they'll actually have hands-on experience in reading, broadcasting, and
that's so incredible because, your vision and the vision of the founders of the station are so much in line. It's like you don't have to go out of your way to do it because that's in the embodiment of what you're doing, and that's investing in people. So you see younger people on the radio, you see them working, volunteering. But we have about 50 seconds left.
Okay.
But if you could tell me within 30 seconds or 20 seconds, what are the effects on the community of KBBG?
Well, I think the community realizes, as you mentioned in your earlier statement about KBBG being one of a few. In the state, in the country, I believe there's around 160 Black-owned and operated radio stations. And years ago, now we're down to 40, and KBBG is one. So I think the community understands the value of having a very unique organization like KBBG, and we are a nonprofit organization. So what we do is provide a service. We're not for profit. We have stockholders. We have a board of volunteers who understand that everything we do, it's serving the community and pouring back into the community.
And I think that's so incredible as well, because you are an African American founded radio station. But you serve the entire community, and you provide voice for the voices, or give opportunity to those that may not have the ability to be able to do that. And it costs money to be able to run a station. You only get so much federal support. So anybody out there looking, make sure you support the radio station. Call down there, find out what you can do, whether it's your time or your dollars or your resources. Please find out what you can do. And I want to thank you, Deborah, for taking time out of your busy schedule to tell us more about KBBG. And it's certainly a jewel set in the heart of our city. And communicate to educate is still a strong theme underlining the programming. So for great jazz, rhythm, blues, gospel, and a little bit of hip hop, plus interviews, educational programming, youth programming, news, current affairs, and more, you have to tune in to 88.1 FM. It is great for all day listening, and even at times to hear none other than the CEO, Deborah Berry. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For more than 41 years, KBBG has been the definitive voice of music and culture for the Cedar Valley. It is an influential trendsetter active in the community and community outreach for the whole community, and we are thankful and blessed for the legacy left by Jimmy Porter and Lou Porter, who created the quintessential African-American owned and operated non-commercial educational community radio station serving all in the Cedar Valley. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
There's a place that lies directly between where you've been and where you're going. It's the place in the middle, the place where your past and future connect. Hawkeye Community College is that place, connecting you to great faculty, engaged students, and four-year destinations like the University of Northern Iowa. Every masterpiece starts with a blank canvas, and every success story begins with an empty page. Start writing your story today. Hawkeye Community College. Connect.
Looking for something to do? For entertainment, shopping, eating, and more, go to experiencewaterloo.com for complete listings of so many exciting activities, places, and venues. And here is Jessica Rucker, Executive Director of Main Street Waterloo.
Main Street Waterloo is a nonprofit organization dedicated to enhancing the vitality of downtown Waterloo through historic preservation, economic development, and community engagement. Be sure to visit the Waterloo Urban Farmers Market on Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. noon. Also, check out our Friday Loos with special bands and events at Lincoln Park from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. To find out what else is going on in downtown, visit our website, www.mainstreetwaterloo.org.
And thanks, Jessica. Great advice. That's our show. We welcome your suggestions and feedback. And remember to tell others that all these episodes are available for viewing from the City of Waterloo website, and that's cityofwaterlooiowa.com. And search for Heart for the City. And be sure to like us on Facebook. Please join us next time. And thanks for watching Heart for the City. Until then, I think you will agree, it's a great day to be in Waterloo.